Those are one of my favorite fish ever. German blue rams. They show very interesting behavior. Plus, they are one of the most colorful fish in the hobby. And recently, I started a challenge for myself. I want to focus a little bit more on breeding them. I mean, I did that in the past with some success, but this time I would like to really go for it and focus on the numbers and quality. And for that reason, I will create a new tank just for them, so I can try to find a perfect breeding pair. For this build, I'm going for that tank. It's 45 by 30 by 30 centimeters and holds roughly 40 liters of water. On top of it, I'm placing a simple LED light. So the high level plan for this tank is to build something that is very densely planted, has some hiding places for the fish to make them comfortable, but also some empty space at the front so I can actually observe the fish. Okay, so let's start from the hardscape. I have few of those very nice looking wood pieces, so I'm gonna use them both. I use this trick quite often, so I'm dividing the tank in two halves, because at the back I can place a lot of active soil, and in the front I can just stick with sand. This way the plants at the back will have very good medium and a lot of nutrients to grow. But in the front I can leave it like empty, but still nice and natural looking. I'm locking the wood pieces with some small pebbles, just to introduce some stability. Okay, that looks just perfect, exactly what I wanted. Now we can move on and start adding some active soil. Exactly like I said, I'm placing the soil at the back, and you can see that those wood pieces and rocks are holding it in one place, so nothing will go to the front. This is how it looks from the sides for now. As you can see, a lot of places for planting, a lot of nutrients when they should be, so we can move to the next step, sand. I'm starting from the front, because this way I will be sure that those wood pieces will not move. Plus, it will make this tank look much better. I mean, just because it's purpose built, it doesn't mean it has to be ugly, right? And now I can focus on the back again, so I will be cupping the soil with a very thin layer of sand. I'm doing this for a few reasons. First of all, it just looks better in my opinion like this. Second, it will stop the soil from moving all over the tank. It will make planting a lot easier because the sand is much heavier than soil. And lastly, it will make the nutrients from the soil stay in the substrate. And this is how it looks from the side right now. Very nice. You wouldn't even know that the soil is under the sand if I haven't showed you this. But this is a perfect base for the plants. So, let's just start planting them. I have quite a nice selection of both potted plants and in vitro. But I will start from something very different. This bulb. This is a bulb of Nymphea stellata. It comes in this form because the leaves of this plant are very delicate, and it would be very difficult to ship it undamaged. And this is why all you have to do is take this bulb and cover it in your substrate. That's it. Next one will be Hygrophila right there. I'm gonna use quite a lot. This is fast growing plant that will help me with algae. Right next to it I will place this Echinodorus rubin narrowleaf. This is the first time I'm using this plant, so I just bought it out of curiosity. And to balance things out on the left side, I will place here this Rotala orange juice. This is the immersed version of it, so it will look completely different once it starts growing underwater. And next I'm placing this in vitro version of Nesea SP Gold. But I honestly don't have high hopes for this plant. because the quality of it's really low. Honestly, I think it started to rot a little bit, so I'm just giving it a try. I don't have high hopes for this to work, but okay. I'm finishing planting with this Hygrophila pinnatifida. I think it completes the look quite nicely. Okay, I think we are there. Yes, the tank looks quite empty right now, but this is by design. I need to leave a lot of space for the plants to grow, especially those fast growing ones. I'm expecting them to get much bigger. And remember that here there is this bulb and we need to leave some space for the plant to develop. To finish off this front of the tank, which is quite empty now, I decided to throw in few pebbles, and I think it worked really well. Small little details that make the tank look much more natural. Okay, let's fill it up and see what happens. And this is how the tank looks like a few minutes later with equipment and water. I wouldn't say it's pretty, but it's quite promising. And most importantly, it should be really suitable for German blue rams. And that's the point. So for me, it's few weeks of maintenance, but for you, it's just few seconds of waiting. It always gets me when I'm making a video and I see before and after, I'm always surprised. The tank developed just beautifully. Yes, what you can see here is the CO2 system, because I wanted those plants to really develop, as I mentioned a few times already, and I want the pH of this tank to be a little bit on the lower side. But anyway, look at those plants, how healthy they are. But it makes sense. There is a CO2, there is a very rich substrate. The light is on the stronger side a little bit. Most of the plants are growing like crazy, but not this one. Like I said, it was a bust. I think that the plant was sick from the very beginning, so I just replaced it with something else. This Nymphea jumped out of nowhere from this bulb, and it's doing well. It's not fantastic, but I think it's gonna get better. There is tiny bit of hair algae in the tank, but I think I just need to tune in the CO2 levels and it's going to be fine. Overall, I'm very happy with how it looks and how it develops, but we have to focus on the most important thing, the fish. The fish are there. Right now, there are few Otocinclus inside, plus 4 German blue rams. So the whole point of that tank is to have a good breeding pair, and this is what I'm looking for. They are very, very young fish right now, and the plan is to feed them as well as I can, basically with only live foods of different kinds. There is no way I can keep all 4 in here. First of all, the tank is way too small for that, but I do have a good connection and I will be able to give away the 2 remaining rams, so it's good. I could start with like 8, but I didn't want to do that. Like I said, this is not the tank for this amount of fish, and they are supposed to feel very good in here. So very calm, a lot of hiding places, little bit of shade, very good quality food, and no stress. Can I succeed? I don't know yet, it's too soon to tell. But if you're curious, maybe you should subscribe, because some updates might be coming. Comment below if you have any tricks regarding keeping rams in a very best way possible. For now, thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one.